All right, we're going to get started. So hello and welcome, everyone. I am going to turn it over to Tuck. So Tuck, take it away.
Oh, that feels so good. I will also say hello and welcome to everyone, and welcome to the 5 ways to access your greatest gifts in this time of transition. It's important to me to thank you for being here with us today and for giving Karen and me your time, your attention, your focus, and your listening. That's me. I am Tuck Self over there to the left, and I am a BG5 certified BG5 consultant here at the BG5 Institute. I'm your host for today, and I'm excited to tell you this is my first webinar, so you all are a part of my maiden voyage. I am excited. I feel like we are privileged to have the illustrious Karen Sherwood here with us today. I refer to Karen as the Grand Kahuna. She is also my mentor and teacher here at the Institute. She's my friend, and for the purposes of you all, what's important to know is that she's the Director of Training, Marketing, and Educational Development, and she is quite the individual. So we are, again, delighted to be here with you guys today to share specifically the BG5, the gift of the BG5 methodology and the system, specifically in the times that we are in. It's been a long year, you all, and to be able to share these 5 ways for you to not only access, but to live from your greatest gifts via and through your BG5 design is exciting for us to be able to share. I trust that at the end of our time together, you will walk away with a few insights, maybe even some revelations, nuggets of wisdom that you will be able to put into practice immediately, and really that you'll be so moved and inspired by your time with us that you will choose to join us in one of our upcoming foundational courses that we are offering to further your insights, to further your learning and your wisdom. You know, to be able to take this time to share this information with you today that has this capacity to ground you, to inspire you, to support your material success in the world, and to support how you make choices and decisions in this time to move yourself forward. I consider it, I have thought Karen does too, a privilege and a real honor. You know, we hold here that BG5 is the world's most advanced system for empowering human potential, for aligning purpose and passions, your purpose and passions with work that you love, and also to support you to have a life and a career that's successful and abundant. And one of my favorite words is at the same time to be easy. So what is BG5? I make up there may be some of you who aren't familiar with BG5, the BG5 Institute. The focus here is on the career and the business aspect of what's known in the world as human design. Now, in the business world, you may already be familiar with assessment tools like Myers-Briggs, Strength Finders, and DISC. You can think of BG5 as well as human design as a type of a personal and a professional assessment tool like those that's a cross between these personality assessments and an assessment about your genotype, your genetic identity. One of the features that I love, I say that we love here about this system, what makes it unique, y'all, is that it's based on 3 answers to 3 questions that will never, ever, 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 ever change. And that's your birth date and your birth time and your birth location. What it's not based on is, like these other assessments, are a set of subjective questions and answers that are going to fluctuate and change every time you take that assessment. Therefore, we, from our experience, this is the most accurate, it's the most practical, it's the most empowering information for you, for individuals to reach your fullest potential, which, by the way, is the dream of the BG5 Institute. In addition to that, allow me to share, it's also to align you with your authentic life's work. Their dream is to have you identify, to know, and to understand your natural, your inherent gifts, skills, and talents. It's to provide you with practical tools that are going to allow you to bring all of who you are forward into the world, utilizing those talents and fully expressing yourself in work that you love, where you are materially successful and confident as well. And I hold it that this type of support could not be more precious. It's my word, precious, needed, required than it is in the times that we're in right now. So today we're only going to be skimming the surface of the benefits, I want you to know, and the value, the transformational value of the BG5 system as we look at these 5 ways to access your greatest gifts. Know you all that there are layers upon layers. There is additional depth, unique details to your personal BG5 design, and that this institute, the BG5 Institute, is here to serve your career and business needs by providing webinars like today, the ongoing trainings like the foundational courses that you'll hear about at the end, and the certification courses and individual sessions. However, for now, this is what we will look at today. We'll talk briefly about the 4 key factors that are converging today that make this information, I'm going to use the word vital now, like right now. We'll look at how this major time of transition that we're in is presenting challenges and fears and uncertainties that are affecting our personal life, our personal health, but also our professional lives. But most importantly, how you can take advantage of our powerful solution of BG5. And then we'll look at the 5 ways for accessing your greatest gifts, which will give you a foundation in how this system will support you, support your life, align you, and balance you on all levels and in every area. And then we'll look at how you can join the classes that are coming up in September. For now, in giving you a framework to listen as we share this information today, here are the 4 key factors that are converging that make this information that we're sharing with you important right now. I keep asking myself, why now? And here's how come. Number 1, we're in the most challenging and trying of times, and people are scared. From my experience, they're uncertain, they're stressed about their day-to-day jobs, their day-to-day world, and specifically how the challenges that we are facing are affecting their jobs, whether they even have a job. How do we make our money? How do we pay our bills? And basically, how do we survive? And what's interesting to me is it's not only about job dissatisfaction and fulfillment anymore, as I know Karen and some of the instructors have shared the information and the solution of BG5 in the past. Frequently, it's been about the information that most of the people who were working in jobs, 70% of them were not emotionally, psychologically, mentally, spiritually connected to who it is that they are in those jobs and what it is that they were doing. And they're seeking to be a part of something bigger than who they are individually. Add to that fact, the dissatisfaction, add to that dissatisfaction that people today are seeking solutions in how to stay healthy and seeking solutions in not only how to do life differently, but how to do work differently. I say Katie barred the door based on what we have to offer. You know, the fear and the stress that's created in looking for different ways to work and live are negatively, potentially affecting our health and well-being. Add to that the pandemic that's already here. And again, Katie barred the door with our solution. You know, now more than ever, as I watch, as I make choices myself, it's important to be clear and clean in the choices that we are making for ourselves and our families, and then really how we are interacting with one another. Look at the world we're in, how we're communicating with one another. We're either going to create a world of peace and harmony as we move forward, or y'all will create a world of chaos, panic, and disorder. So it's important in how we make choices and communicate. And then I hold this, I really do believe that we're being given the gift of time, this gift of time right now, to discern who it is that we choose to be in the world, and specifically how it is that we're spending the lion's share of our life, making money, doing what we love, and thriving versus simply surviving. Well, we're happy to share that BG5 is specifically designed to support you to balance your life and help to deal with the changing times, to communicate effectively, to make clear choices, and most importantly, y'all, to align your natural gifts with a professional life where you get to prosper as a byproduct of doing what it is that you love. So it was important to me to include this particular slide from the position of positioning. This methodology of BG5, it's important to pause to me and acknowledge human design BG5 and Ra Uru, who the originator of this system. Ra has stated, you would hear any of us state that this system is for and has been for future generations. And that time is like right now. It's here to support us right now to deal specifically with these changing times. We are in a major time of transition. And for maybe the past 400 years, you all, since 1615, according to human design, we've actually been in an age of planning. And this age is coming to an end shortly in 2027. That's, within 7 years from now. All you have to do is look out your window, walk out your front door, and you will observe the effects of what's happening, and that we actually have a front row seat to the witnessing of these changing events. What we have depended on in this age of planning. I mean, look back, we've been dependent on communities. We've experienced a rise in institutions. We've given our power and our authority over to systems and institutions like healthcare, government, education, economic, and even the political systems. And those are based in agreements and bargains. We've trusted the specialist in these systems and institutions to know what's right for us, y'all, better than we know for ourselves. And the old watch story, work for 60 years, get your watch and retire. We've had this concentrated focus on making sure that we had the right skills for the right job so that we could be materially successful, whether it was something that we really loved doing or not. And then we've been conditioned to work alone and competitively for achievement. And it's this way of life, it's these very systems and structures that are breaking down right before our eyes. So to know that what once worked no longer works. Now that may sound like doom and gloom. One of the things, if you know me, you know I love happy endings, and therefore the happy ending to this story is where we're headed, y'all. We are headed into the age called the age of individuality. And I'm excited to share that BG5 and even human design are the only tools and systems that we know of that will support you directly in navigating and taking advantage of these changes and these shifts. So what do I mean by that? Instead of the businesses and the institutions that are built on bargains, we are going to be all about the individual, all about you, all about your self-empowerment and the empowerment of others, rather than buying into systems of power and hierarchy, y'all, where we have spent the lion's share of our time trying to climb the corporate ladder. Our focus is going to be on you and the abundance of your spirit, you and the abundance of your spirit, so that you can express who it is that you truly are. And rather than having to depend on people outside of us, external authorities, this is about trusting ourselves and trusting our own inner authority. And rather than having that long view, concentration on developing skills for material success, as I said earlier, this is about contemplating the bigger picture finally and seeing where our individual gifts actually fit into the whole so that we can make that contribution to something that's bigger than ourselves. And rather than focusing on weaknesses and attempting to strengthen them, this is about identifying, getting to know, love, learn, and trust your own gifts, skills, and talents so that you can bring those forth, doing something that's right and natural for you. And then finally, rather than working competitively for that personal gain, we're moving into this era, you all, where we're breaking down the barriers and working together cooperatively for that greater good, where you as an individual are going to be really, really, really clear that how you're using your natural gifts, skills, and talents are aligned with the greater good, or better yet, aligned with that purpose and that mission and that vision of the company that you're working with. So we are already moving into an era of these characteristics. We're already feeling the effects of these changes. With BG5, know that you are going to be fully supported with a focus on who you are, how to trust you, how to do what you love and make money as a byproduct, and how to be in relationship and in service to others in a way that completely and totally fulfills you. So this is a really important slide in positioning the problems that we are facing today in the world. My question for you is, what if you were given a personalized map that showed you how you are uniquely designed to operate in this life, in your career, and most importantly, in these changing times? What if you were given the key to the most important knowledge of all, like the keys to the kingdom, and that would be knowing yourself? You know, Dr. Joe Dispenza, one of my favorite mentors, says, knowledge is power. Knowledge about yourself is self-empowerment. So what if you knew how to read and understand your personal unique imprinting? And what if you had a mentor and a guide and a collaborator to take you on this journey with you, where you get to explore and you get to learn about the nuances of your map with that support and with that empowerment along the way? I would like to say, drum roll, please. Welcome to BG5, what we call the most powerful solution in this time of transition. You know, the great Tony Robbins says, identify your problems, but give your power and give your energy to your solutions. One of the things we are excited about at the BG5 Institute is that when it comes to careers, when it comes to your business, we are interested in knowing what your problems and your challenges are and providing you solutions to those problems. So BG5 is the best tool of the day, you all, to navigate our time, to fulfill your purpose, to support you to make money, to align you with work that you love, to be materially successful, where you're working not simply for the purpose of survival. It's the only solution that's going to inspire and guide you to your own inner authority, where you have your own personalized map that shows you how you operate in the world and how you can make choices that are going to forward your life successfully. No longer do you have to go to anyone outside of yourself for your answers. You get to be your own guru. And BG5 supports you in identifying and accessing your natural, the inherent gifts, skills, and talents that are yours, so that when you use them, you make money as a byproduct of the service and doing what it is that you love. You do not have to sell your soul. And then finally, BG5 is about relating to others in an environment of partnership and cooperation, where you're serving the greater good while at that same time experiencing personal success and fulfillment. So you don't have to work alone, and it's not about being competitive. So my question to you is, are you ready to discover how to access your greatest gifts, not only in this time of transition, but also in your everyday life for fulfillment and for success? So welcome to the 5 ways you all to access your greatest gifts. This is what we're going to touch on in a minute. We will specifically look at your career type, you all, which is going to give you information on how to best express yourself in the world based on your type. We'll look at gift number 2. What is your personal interaction style? How do you best interact with others, communicate with others in a way that creates a flow for you rather than resistance and friction? And then key, as you'll hear me continually say, gift number 3 is your decision-making strategy. How do you best make choices in your life in alignment with a natural process that's you? Gift number 4, we'll look at your defined functions. These are your core strengths, what you can rely on in yourself that's truly you. And then gift number 5, we'll look at the shadows and distractions, which will give you information on where you get pulled off track, but also it will share with you what is your greatest wisdom. So here are your 5 ways for accessing your greatest gifts. Know that we're going to move through these one by one, however, but think of it like you're only unwrapping the gift today. Given that you choose to join us in one of our foundational courses, not only are you going to have the gift unwrapped, you're going to actually get to take that gift, touch it, play with it, apply it, and experiment with it. So I figured this is a great time, Karen, for us to take a pause with my voice and check in with who is with us here today by asking and getting a feel for what is your career type, knowing that some of you may be familiar with human design, your human design type. Some of you may be familiar only with your, look at y'all go, your builder type. So for those of you who don't know, given you are a generator in the human design world, you're a builder over here. Given that you are a projector in the human design world, you're an advisor over here. Given that you are a manifester, you're an innovator here. And given that you are a reflector, you are an evaluator here. Now back to the generators. A pure generator is a classic builder, and a manifesting generator is an express builder. So I see you guys are already launching the poll here. I'm going to ask you, Karen, like how long do we give them?
I think we're good.
Okay, do I end poll here?
Yep. Okay. Yep. We can end the polling.
Okay.
And then if you want to share the results, you can do that as well.
Oh, how exciting. Okay. So it looks like we have a world of advisors. That's very, very interesting. Coming in second in the race are the classic builders. Looks like we have 29% here in the class. That would be you, Karen. Karen is a classic builder. Express builders, 16%. That would be me. I'll raise my hand. Innovators, 4%. And look, we have 5% are evaluators and reflectors. So welcome. Thank you all so much for being here. I'm happy that you know your type. Given that you do not know what your career type is, there will be a link at the end of the webinar, and or you could go to the BG5 website and request your career type by putting in, remember, the answer to those 3 questions that don't ever change. Anything for you, Karen, at this point?
Nope, you're doing awesome.
Okay. All right, I need to do that, and then I need to stop sharing. How do I get this to go away? There you go. All righty. Okay, it's gift time. It's almost like Christmas, y'all. Gift number 1 is career type. This is how you best express yourself in the world. You know, your career type is going to reveal to you the easiest, remember that's one of my favorite words, ease, the easiest and the most natural way that you're designed to apply your energy and to share your true gifts with the world. It's a big deal to know that we're designed to work uniquely and that each of us has different talents and skills, and that we interact in different and specific ways with each other, and that we actually work differently based on the different environments we're in, all based on our career types. We're not designed, you all, to be like everybody else around us. We're not designed to work in homogenized ways. Your career type is going to give you your specific way to best utilize your energy personally and professionally so that you experience flow and success. Now, I will say that this one gift of my career type as an express builder catapulted, shifted, totally changed my life. It changed how I identify myself in the world, how I work, how I interact with others at work and in life in general, and how I prosper fully in all areas of my life with flow and with ease. Who doesn't want to live with flow and ease? So here, you all, are the 4 foundational career types. For those of you who knew your career types and put that in the poll, given that you are an innovator, you are 8% of our population. So you're designed, as you see here, to get things started. What you're here to do is to create impact. You're designed to get the energy started, to get us all up and going and moving. And what's interesting is that you're the only career type that's actually designed to do that. That was gobsmacking to me when I had this information initially presented to me, and that in my own life experience and my life as a coach, 92% of the people that I was working with were conditioned to operate and to work in a career as if they were innovators. And that was not true for them as to their type. So that was huge for me. You're 8% of the population. You're a big deal. You get to get things started. Then we come to the builders. Builders are designed to provide the energy, y'all, to move things along. I'm a builder, so I can say we bring energy, vitality, and creativity to the world, and that we're generating this life force energy, I don't know if you can feel me, for ourselves and others. There are 2 types of us that are builders, the classic and the express builder. Karen is a classic builder. Tuck is an express builder. We make up 70% of the population, and I will, in my humor, say, we rule the world with that 70%. Okay, advisors. Most of us here are advisors. You are a big deal here today in this webinar. You're designed to lead and to guide the process. And your true gift to the world is recognition, exclamation point. You know, as you recognize the talents and the gifts in other people, you actually bring people together in a very gifted, organizing way, and you efficiently and effectively understand how to maximize our energies and our resources, and you see things that we often miss. Again, you're 21% of the population. And then we have evaluators. You are an extraordinary, rare type at 1% of the population. And you, my friends, are designed to tell us how our world is going, how the environments and the communities that we are part of are going. Your gift is the gift of objectivity, and we frequently refer to you as the canary in the coal mine, in that you sample, in that you reflect, and that you evaluate the qualities of our environments. Now, here's what's important for you to know. When you don't know your career type, like I didn't for many, many, many years, and or when you're acting out of accordance with your career type, your life, it's not going to work for you. You're going to feel that effort and struggle. You may feel angry, frustrated, bitter, and disappointed. You may get exhausted and confused and be really frustrated that you are working so hard to not get where you want to go. You may find that you're doing work that you don't love in order to have certain material possessions that now are trapping you in a life where you're settling and or you're doing what you're doing just to survive. Now that just sounds doomy and gloomy. Remember, I love happy endings. So the happy ending to this story is when you're living in alignment with your career type, you all, the opposite is true. You will experience joy and ease rather than that effort and struggle. You will feel a sense of peace and satisfaction and success and delight in how you work and how you live. And I love to say you will be your authentic career type, doing what your natural gifts inspire in order to have and experience a life of success, fulfillment, and abundance. So Karen, is there anything that you would like to share about your visual here, your ladybug image, and that I love the way you share that? You get your voice in here.
Hey, Tuck. Yeah, it was very funny when I first put together this image. I thought this image that we have here, it almost looks like a ladybug. And if you think about it, sort of just taking a look at that as the analogy, if we take a look at the innovator is like the ladybug's body, right? It's what gets things up and moving. It's what gets things started. It's what has impact. And once the innovator gets started, it's really turning things over to the builders to get things done. So again, we have the express builders and the classic builders. It's the classic builders and the express builders are almost like the wings of the ladybug. It's what moves things forward. It is the energy to get things moving. And then we have the advisors. The advisors are like the head of the ladybug, right? They're the eyes, being able to see and guide the process to lead us in the correct way and knowing how to use that energy to move us along in the correct direction. And then we have the evaluators, and the evaluators are like the antenna. The evaluators can let us know and help us see, how well things are going or not. What is safe or not, what way to go or not. So if you take a look at the image, right, we have, again, the innovator sort of as the body, the express builder and the classic builder as the wings on either side, the advisor as the head, and the evaluator as the antenna. So that's like I said, sort of the analogy that I've seen in taking a look at this image.
It's a beautiful, beautiful image. I think visuals are key. They're a great adjunct to the information. So that's beautiful. I'm actually going to take my builder wings and move to the next slide to gift number 2, which is personal interaction style. You all, this is how do you best interact with others? Your personal interaction style is going to give you the information that you're required in order to eliminate friction in your communication so that you are communicating clearly and effectively, not only in your personal life, also in your professional life. Now, I don't know if everyone knows this or not, so I will share that 93% of how we're expressing ourselves every day when we interact with others is nonverbal. It's unconscious. So that's, given I'm a math major, 7% is in our tonality and our facial expression. So to the extent that we are aligned, that we know what our personal interaction style is, will determine how clear our message is and how easily we're communicating with others, which is really key in our work. So when you're operating in alignment with your personal interaction style, your message is clear, people get you, they hear you, you flow, there's no resistance, but most importantly, you are going to be available to attract the people, the events, the circumstances, and the opportunities into your life in order to be successful. When you're out of alignment with your personal interaction style, your nonverbal, unconscious frequency, it's distorted. People hear it as static. Your message is unclear, and you're going to activate potentially chaos and confusion in your environment, which is going to have you feel awkward, rejected, misunderstood. And again, most importantly, you are not going to attract the right people, events, circumstances, and opportunities into your life. And even if you did, you would not be aware of it. Therefore, I keep wanting to say your PIS, your personal interaction style is key in your communication. It's key in removing resistance. It's key in communicating effectively. And as I continue to say, attracting the right people, events, and opportunities into your life. Now, each one of these career types has its own personal interaction style. So those of you who are innovators, your nonverbal energy, that frequency for you is closed and repelling. We have put a beautiful visual here at the bottom of the page. If you begin at the left, that first visual, that first picture, that's you as an innovator. So you can see what your energy field is doing, being closed and protective. Remember, you're impactful, you're the initiator. Therefore, your personal interaction style is to inform before you act. This is going to minimize any resistance that comes up. It may even prevent anger given that you are resisted. So informing before you act allows other people not only to get what you're up to, it actually invites their support, fostering this environment and this interaction where you feel the sense of peace and freedom that you love. Peace and freedom. For you as builders, us as builders, our frequency, our nonverbal energy presence, it's open. This is the second picture with the red circle. It's enveloping. You know, our gift is to keep things moving, to move them along. However, to be moving things along in a way that's aligned with us and to avoid becoming frustrated and doing stuff we don't want to do, our personal interaction style is to respond before we engage. When we do this, you all, we are open and available to attract and see the people and the opportunities coming our way, which brings to us this incredible sense of satisfaction. For those of you who are advisors, your frequency and your nonverbal presence, it's focused and absorbing. See how he's looking into her chest? You have this gift, you all, of recognizing the talents and the gifts in others. However, for those others to be receptive to what you have to share and for you to feel successful in guiding, your personal interaction style is to wait to be recognized and invited. Know that when you do, you are naturally going to draw others in, and they're naturally going to recognize your talents and your insights. However, when you share these insights without waiting for the recognition and the invitation, others are not going to be open to you. You may feel bitter, and you know what? They may even feel interfered with. So waiting for your invitation and recognition is going to allow you to feel that sense of success. Evaluators, you're the far one on the right in the visual. You have a nonverbal presence that's sampling and resistant like Teflon. Your gift, as we said earlier, is objectivity. So your presence does reflect this environment as a whole. You actually best express yourself when you're at the heart of a business, a community, when you're the center of a group, and that this is going to allow you to move around freely and sample and reflect how things are working or not. So for you to wait, reflect, and discuss before engaging is going to remove the resistance and disappointment for you, but also bring a sense of freedom in feeling delight and wonder and surprise. So is there anything you want to add about the PIS, Karen, the personal interaction style?
No, I think you did a fabulous job of really covering it. And again, one of the things about BG5 is not only about understanding ourselves, but understanding how to interact with others. And again, what Tuck had brought up earlier with the times that we're moving in and working collaboratively, working with others. And part of that is all about knowing how to interact with others. So it's a really important aspect. Thank you, Tuck.
Thank you. So I feel like we need to send some bells off as we come into gift number 3. And the gift number 3, you all, is the key to unlocking your entire design. It is your decision-making strategy. Making decisions, particularly right now, are shaping our lives. The one thing that I know of that I have any control over is how I am making the choices in my life. And so we come back to this gift number 3, your decision-making strategy, over and over again in this work, and that it is that important, and it is this foundational in who we are and in how we live our career types. So your personal decision-making strategy is going to reveal to you what your natural process is that is going to guide you to make the best possible choices and decisions regardless of your situation, and to do it with confidence, with reliability, and with resistance. Now, I thought it was important to just say briefly, before we look at the decision-making strategy, that the worst place for you to go to make choices is into your mind, contrary to what maybe you've been told throughout your life. What your mind does well, it observes, it learns, it studies like mine does. And it's going to second guess your decision-making strategy. It's going to be easily distracted, especially in the times that we're in today, you all, as well as being influenced by people and pressures outside of you. So instead of making your decisions accurately according to your type, it's possible that you will make them from the distractions and the influences, which we'll talk about in gift number 5. So know that the worst place to make a choice from is your mind. Best place to make a choice from is your decision-making strategy. So we have 4 career types, each expressing themselves in their own unique way, each with their own specific personal interaction style. And now here we are at decision-making strategy. Each career type here also has a different decision-making strategy based on how it's designed. Now, the really happy news is that we go into depth with these different variations in the foundational courses, deep study. I'm simply going to touch on them here. So you as an innovator, again, that's you over there to the left in the visual, when you're aligned with your personal interaction style and you are informing before you act, you create a very healthy impact, which is going to bring you that sense of peace and freedom that I talked about. When you are in your heads, given you go to your head to make your choice about what you should do, or it has you not informed first, this is going to create resistance and ultimately anger for you. Therefore, to avoid that resistance and that anger, you are gifted with 3 different decision-making strategies. Builders, when we're aligned with our personal interaction style, following our decision-making strategy, using our energy to be vital and creative in the world, we are satisfied. I know that word satisfaction. However, given that we do something that our mind tells us we ought to do, we should do, and we're giving our energy to places that we don't really need to be giving them, what we experience is frustration rather than that satisfaction. Builders have 2 different decision-making strategies. Mine as a builder is emotional clarity. I cannot tell you what this one key, remember, it unlocks your entire design. Decision-making strategy is meant everything to me, to know that I am someone who is required, after I wait to respond, to wait out my emotional wave, to give myself time for clarity, for that clarity to emerge, has been key to my not doing things for fear of loss, fear of being left out, fear of somebody rejecting me, the fear of not getting it right, all of those things. Waiting out my wave, which is my strategy, is huge. And if you need any affirmation on that one, ask my husband. Okay, advisors. Advisors, when you're aligned with your personal interaction style and you're following your decision-making strategy of waiting to be recognized and invited to lead and guide, success, that's what you feel. You're rewarded with that feeling of success. Given you're in your head and you're not waiting for your recognition and invitation, you're going to experience bitterness. You're not going to feel seen, felt, heard. You're not going to attract the right people. Things aren't going to go your way. You have the most diverse ways of operating in that you have 5 different decision-making strategies. Again, in the foundational courses, you take a deep dive into each of those 5 ways to find out which is specific to you, how to apply it, and how to practice it, and how to work with it. Finally, the evaluators, one very distinct way of decision-making. Remember, you're here to sample and reflect the environment in your personal interaction style. So it's important that you take time in making your decisions. Therefore, waiting and allowing that time to reflect is important, as well as talking about it, reflecting it with and to others. When you're in your head, when you're not taking time, when you become impatient, a sense of deep disappointment is going to come up for you rather than that awesome feeling of delight and surprise. So given you remember anything and apply anything that we've shared with you today, it would be this key number 3, decision-making strategy. Anything from you, illustrious Karen Sherwood.
Hold on, I just had to unmute there. Just like what Tuck said at the very beginning, this is really the key to unlocking your entire design. And so again, we can't get into the details because you can see there's so many different decision-making strategies. But in general, this is the key thing that you want to really dive in deep and practice. Because the only way to really get good at making decisions correctly as yourself is to practice and experiment with it. So thank you, Tuck.
Beautiful. Now, these last two gifts, my favorite, gift number 4, has to do with your 9 functions, where we identify your consistent core strengths in your chart. These defined functions are going to show you what's natural as far as your strength and your power goes, so that you can rely on that to stay grounded and to stay aligned personally and professionally. We have 9 functions in the design. Whether or not yours is colored in is going to give you information on what your core strengths are that you can rely on. So what we have here are, we'll start at the bottom. What we've done in the slide, you all, the ones in the parentheses, that's how we refer to that function in human design. The one that's bulleted is what that function is labeled as in the BG5 language. So know that each of these functions, it does relate to an aspect of your biology, and that it's going to show you what your consistent strength is that you can rely on. So we have the drive and stamina at the bottom there. This is your adrenalized pressure to evolve and to get things going and to keep moving. The red energy resource is what makes Karen and myself a builder. This is a function that's an internal motor that generates a certain amount of energy every day that requires being fully utilized and building and creating and providing life force, we'll say, for the planet. Remember, we rule the world. To the left there, your survival instinct. This is your intuitive awareness power, and it alerts you to what you require for survival, for adaptation, and to thrive. Directly across that to the right, your emotional intelligence function. This carries your emotional potent energy. When this is defined, you have a responsibility to learn how to patiently harness the potential benefits of your emotional energy as you go up and down on your wave. As I said when talking about my decision-making strategy, I am emotionally defined. I live on a wave. Therefore, it is imperative to wait out that wave for clarity and to be responsible for my emotional impact. The little cute red triangle, that's your willpower function when defined, says that you are required to be in control of your life and your resources, that you are able to make promises, however, to keep those, in that's how you build trust with others. The yellow identity and direction function, when defined, you have a strong sense of identity. This is me. You know who you are, you know where you're going, regardless of who you're with. You have this fixed and reliable sense of correct direction and mission, and are natural at pointing out the way for others. The communication and action throat in human design, this carries a reliable and a consistent way that you express yourself, and it depends on what it's connected to. However, it also may tend to limit your expression based on what it's connected to. Then at the top of the visual here, the yellow and the green triangle, we have your mental inspiration function. Given that this is defining you all, you have a fixed way of thinking. You inspire, you uplift, you empower, and you motivate others with your questions and with your possibilities. The green conceptualization function, when this is defined, you are a processor. You are always thinking, always processing data. You love being mentally creative, and you inspire others to think as well. So knowing these functions is going to give you specificity and confidence in how you express yourself. You'll gain awareness in your body's intelligence, and it will have you function then at a higher level of awareness, creativity, and effectiveness in all areas of your life. Anything for you, Karen, prior to going to number 5?
Let's go to number 5.
Okie dokie. Gift number 5, you all, your shadows and distractions. This is where we support you to identify where you get taken off track. You know, these functions are going to reveal to you where you're challenged, where you're distracted, where you get pulled off track. They actually provide information to you, these functions do, in two very incredible ways. Number one, showing you where you get off track. Number two, based on the fact that you have these open functions and have spent a lifetime being conditioned by the outside world in these functions, this becomes the place where you live from your mind. You're operating from your patterns and your shadows. However, remember, happy ending to the story. This is also a huge benefit in that it's going to give you information as to where you are blocked, where you are stuck, where you are distracted from creating material success. Therefore, you can utilize and learn from this experience, utilize this information, which brings that second aspect of this function to light, that you're here to, this is where you're designed to be deeply wise and to share your learned wisdom with others. So let's say you feel off kilter, you feel chaotic, you're frustrated, you're making decisions from your mind. It is possible with an open mental inspiration function at the top that you're losing focus. Check yourself. Are you mentally defensive about something? Are you trying to be a star and attract attention? Are you confused about who you are and where you're going as a role? Are you overcompensating, trying to prove you're worthy of something? Are you avoiding having a conversation with your wife, Larry, because you're touchy, nervous, and defensive? Are you unable to let go of something that's no longer serving you or is healthy for you? Are you overutilizing your energy resource, being overzealous? And are you under pressure and in a hurry? Given any of those are true for you, stop, breathe, look, and listen. Bring yourself present and use this information to expand your wisdom, you all, and bring yourself back center to your decision-making strategy. Remember, because it's the key to unlocking your design. Anything for you here, Karen?
Continue on.
Okay. So quick review, you all. These are your 5 ways to access your greatest gifts. Again, light touch here, deep dive when you come into the foundational course. But 5 really important keys: your career type, how you best express yourself in the world. How are you personally interacting and communicating with others to create a flow and remove resistance? Ding, ding, ding. What is your decision-making strategy? How do you best make the choices that forward your life and career? Define functions and strengths, what you can rely on, and the shadows and the distractions that are taking you off track, and where can you be wise? So given that you are inspired by anything that we have shared with you today, the BG5 Institute is here to serve your needs. And one of the ways it's here to support you is with a solid foundation of the BG5 information, and I'll even say the methodology, by offering you the foundational courses. It really is a perfect place to start your journey. So given you're inspired to hear more and to know more, you know, one of the objectives in this course is to understand yourself, to really, really, really know how you can apply this practical information to your own life so that you make the right choices about your right career, so that you are clear on your gifts, and as well, you know how to move beyond your distractions. It shows you how to understand others, how to improve your relationships. That's important when we're working and we're looking to forward our lives and to create prosperity for ourselves and our families. So to understand the dynamics that make us different so that we can have successful and meaningful connections and interactions is huge. You'll also learn to interpret the BG5 design chart by knowing the nuances, the different aspects of that chart, and then you will become versed in the language of the BG5 in order to understand yourself and understand others. And then finally, given that you are interested in continuing your studies, pursuing the certifications, these courses are a prerequisite for the BG5 Consultant Certification course and the BG5 Profit Potential course. Beautiful, beautiful foundational information. I'll let you glance at it quickly here. Give you the information that semester 1 has everything to do with your personal operating style. You know, we all have a specific way that we operate as individuals and when we interact with others, and that's reflected in our personal operating style. So to be successful in your careers and business, these 8 points are welcomed and vital for your forward movement. We talked about the career types today. You'll move more deeply into those. The same with the personal interaction style, the decision-making strategy. What we've not talked about today are the key indicators, which are the signposts to keep you on track as you navigate and move through the world with your career type and your decision-making strategy. We'll look also at the assimilation process that we have not talked about today. Y'all, this is how you take in and process information, and we are different in how we do this. And it has been huge to get how simply me and my husband assimilate things differently. Then we'll look at the core strengths again in detail of the defined functions. You'll go into detail with your shadow and distractions to be really clear about what's taking you off track. And then you'll look at the conscious and the unconscious aspects of your design. With this semester 1, the class is actually starting next month, September 16th. Yours truly is going to be teaching it. The first class, you all, is free. Given that you take the early bird registration fee, that's $625. Regular registration is $675. I've included my bit.ly link here for you. It's a great course. 10 classes, 2 hours for each class. A lot of information. However, I'll speak to a minute, and that it's not me delivering the information with you. It's highly experiential and interactive. For the semester 2, you'll explore your creative operating style, specifically looking at the 3 general energy thematics and how you work with others. You'll look at the 36 potential strengths and contributions. This is you exploring your consistent, reliable strengths and how you're designed to make your contribution. These are the gifts that you bring to the world. We'll look at the 64 traits of your human potential. You know, using your gifts and your talents in a way that's aligned with who you are is huge. It's also great to know who you're not and who others are and how their strengths are affecting you and empowering and disempowering you as well. So these are the unique expressions of your gifts. Then you will look at the 6 qualities of each of those trait imprints. So that's taking a deeper dive into the nuances of each of those 64 traits. And then we'll look at the 12 public roles. So you'll get to see what your purpose is that you're here to fulfill in life and work and in career. I always want to say life, love, and work. Again, 10 classes. These begin in January. There's an early bird registration here as well that you can read. $625 if you sign up early, $675 if not. However, what is important for you to know, you all, is that the BG5 Institute, Karen, has put together a beautiful 8 essentials package for you, and I'll show you what that includes in a minute. Given that this feels right for you, given that you know this is something that you've been wanting to do, you can sign up and get the 8 essentials package. The cost here is $14.99. As you can see here, that is a $935 savings. That's huge. Again, I'll be starting this class September the 16th. It's going to run to March. It's 10 classes. And it is an interactive class and an opportunity for you to experience and experiment, I'll say, with the information, to participate in class, to ask questions. It's a brilliant way to get started, to dive into the basics, to apply it to your life. And I love to say, apply it to the people around you as well. So here's what the 8 essentials packaging includes. It's the first and the second semester, you all, the personal operating and the creating operating style. You get that discount here as well. Karen is putting together a phenomenal workbook that you will be provided with for each of those semesters. A lot of work's gone into that. So you'll have your own workbook. You'll also have your own Success Code Complete report, which is a value of $89 here. You will also have access to a self-study course called The Approach to Emotional Intelligence, which was facilitated, offered, hosted, produced by the illustrious Karen Sherwood. You'll have that for your own self-study. That's a value of $179. And then I was informed about this yesterday. You'll have entry this time, one time only, into the Profit Potential Workshop series by being able to participate in the drive and stamina portion of those workshops. There are 4 classes. This is the last time that this particular potential workshop of drive and stamina is going to be included in the 8 essentials package. So that's a huge, huge gift as we speak of gifts today. You'll also get your personal one-on-one career design overview, a value of $395. And I believe that's it. That's a lot to offer for $14.99. Given you would prefer payments, here's your payment plan. Again, the early registration expires September the 1st. Anything for you, Karen Sherwood, as we wrap this up, anything for you to wrap up and to share?
I think you did an amazing, amazing job. Natalie was just saying, actually, can we go ahead and just add that, Natalie, just for this last time? So we actually are, we've actually removed the early bird from the payment plan, but I just asked Natalie and she's going to actually reinstate it. So we will honor this, the 7 monthly payments of the $247, which will expire September 1st. But that will be the last time that we'll have that particular payment plan. Normally the payment plan is 5 monthly payments of $347. So you guys got in just under the wire.
Happy ending to the story.
Mm-hmm.
It's always a happy ending. So are there any questions, Karen? Other than that, I am complete.
Yes, you have done an amazing job, and we've had actually quite a few questions and sort of questions in general. So if you do have any additional questions, please type them in, and I'm going to see if I can find them here and go through them. Lucas was asking, what is number 4 and number 5 for the evaluators, the reflectors?
Oh, that's an interesting question. Come to the foundation course. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. You know, given that the evaluators have all 9 functions, white and open and undefined, your way of being in the world is going to be that you are wide open, I will say, to the influences of the outside world. So as far as having the specificity of any one function defined that's consistent and reliable for you, that's not there. The open functions are open all the time to the influences of the outside world. Now, I know in the course, there's more detail, Lucas, as to how you can use the cycle of the moon to get some familiarity with how you move from month to month that will give you some sense of reliability. However, for the most part, all of your functions are white and open and available for sampling, reflecting, and sharing your delicious, delightful awe and wonder of the world with other people. Is that anything to add, Karen?
Yeah, and I would also just add that the undefined functions really become what your brilliance is, because on the other side of the shadows, is our wisdom potential. And so of all of the career types, the evaluators have the most potential for that wisdom. And ultimately, all the undefined functions, in a sense, become your kind of quote unquote strengths, if you will. And those strengths happen to be the wisdom side of things.
Yeah, maybe we should say you rule the world.
Exactly. And we have Babs, who has just the opposite, right? What if you have all 9 functions defined, right? How do you use that properly?
Now, that's an interesting question. You know, there's so many dynamics that go into our design. To answer that broadly is easy. To answer it specifically, I find challenging without seeing the rest of the chart. However, my experience of people who have all of their functions defined, because I do have people in my life who are fully defined in all functions, there is a sense of reliability. There is a sense of confidence. There is a sense of clarity around who they are and how they broadcast themselves to the world. So that capacity to know how you're impacting others, how you're broadcasting, what would be key for you is, are you broadcasting yourself? Are you expressing yourself and your message in a way that's in tune with your gifts or out of tune with your gifts? We speak frequently that those defined functions play like a guitar and a guitar string. And are you in tune or are you out of tune in how you are expressing yourself? Because that's a lot of beautiful, defined, consistent energy. Anything for you, Karen?
Beautiful. I think you shared it beautifully. And again, there's more details as we look through the individual designs. Michaela is asking, what does BG5 stand for?
Base Group 5. That's what it stands for. Base Group 5. What it is, it's the basic foundational building block that we use in career and business, that we say ensures the success and creates the foundation for any business. The base group will typically consist of 3 to 5 individuals. And when you're looking at what we call the Penta, the unified group, there are 12 core business skills that are required for success. So it's the base group, the foundation, and the foundational building block that we use as we're building, or as people are building, a successful business. That's my response, Karen.
Beautiful. Beautifully said. And there were a couple of people that were saying that they were having some, they weren't receiving the activation email. So I did type it in the chat here, but if you are having any issues, any technical issues, if you're not getting your report, sometimes it ends up in the spam or the junk folder. But if you are having any issues or any problems, just email Natalie, who's in the office, and it's just office@bg5businessinstitute.com. So if you're having any technical issues or any questions, you can always contact her there. Again, it's office@bg5businessinstitute.com. And Donnelly was asking, I'm a speaker and business owner. What type of careers do you see are a good fit for evaluators or reflectors?
I'm going to ask that one again.
So, whoops, I just lost it here. Hold on. So Donnelly said, as an evaluator, a reflector, I'm a speaker and business owner. What type of careers do you see is a good fit for an evaluator or reflector?
My short answer to that is call Chris Prochaska and do TED Talks. No, that's interesting that as an evaluator, you are a speaker. That makes sense to me from the perspective that you actually get to utilize your audience and take it in. And, as a speaker myself, to go to a presentation and to spew the presentation, maybe like I did today, is one way of working with people. As an evaluator, for you to be able to use your audience to take in where they are, who they are, and then give them back what they require, what they're asking you for. To me, that's a gift. It allows you to be open where someone like myself isn't open, and to feel into the audience in a different way. So as far as what types of speaking careers, I don't have an answer for that one specifically as to a type of speaker. Karen, maybe you do?
I think just in general, being at the center of a community, I think it's very perfect. Yeah. Let me see here. Hold on one second. I'm not as good as at doing all of this piece with the
You're the
all the questions. So Caroline is asking, what is your advice for projectors and their strategy? What are they doing while they're waiting for an invitation?
Oh, that's a beautiful one. I love that. My answer is my answer. That I'm going to give it to you the way I live. When I daily invest my time and my talents and my energies in doing what it is that I love, that makes my heart sing, that keeps me available. So I'd go back to your personal interaction style, your career type. what's going to keep you open and available so that you will attract the right people, the events, and the circumstances. When you're in your head thinking of what you don't have, what hasn't come, what won't come, when you're in any narrative whatsoever, your energy is not open and available to wait for that invitation, to recognize it even if it came. That's my answer, Karen. How about you?
I think you answered it beautifully. And Jefferson is asking, is there any incompatibility between being an advisor and being an entrepreneur?
Oh, wow, no. You know, when people ask me those types of questions, I never say never. You know, given that you are honoring your career type, you're in alignment with your personal interaction style, and you are honoring and living from your decision-making strategy, you're always going to get what there is for you to get, whether it's something that you're looking for, something that you didn't expect. We get what there is for us to get, and it's always going to be correct. It's my answer there, Karen.
Yeah, and I would also like to add, advisors actually are probably some of the best entrepreneurs. Why? Because you can lead and guide the process. So the ideal business, one of the things that we take a look at in the BG5 certification, the ideal business is having an advisor as the alpha or the leader, and being able to lead and guide the process of the builders within the organization. So it actually is quite ideal. So I would say in general, and again, what Tuck said is spot on. In it all depends on, you know, other aspects of your design. And so it's something that you have to look at holistically. But in general, I think entrepreneurship is ideal for the advisor.
Yeah, that's great, Karen, that you brought that up, because it reminds me how come the foundational courses are as important as they are, in that specificity that particular type goes into, because I totally forgot about that. And the fact that advisors work best one-on-one and in a business are the best alphas. So I didn't retrieve it. Therefore, the foundation courses, they're extraordinary in providing the information to some of these questions.
Yep, absolutely. And Loveline is saying she is a 6-2 reflector evaluator, and has been in human design for the last 3 months and is keen on BG5 career, and has come from business and management consultant corporate world. She's currently in the RAVE course at IHDS, and she's asking, would it be okay to start the foundation BG5 course now concurrently? And so the answer is absolutely yes. If it feels correct for you, you certainly can do that. Yeah. The foundation courses are the foundation courses for the BG5. So there is no prerequisites. Yeah. So yes, you can. Oh, and one of the things that Natalie's reminded me of as well is that if you are for example, I'm assuming that you're in RAVE ABCs or RAVE cartography. If you take RAVE ABC or RAVE cartography, you can also contact us. You can contact Natalie, and you can also get the audit price as well. So, so email Natalie, again, office@bg5businessinstitute.com. And if you are in the RAVE ABC, you can get the audit price for the foundation course, for Foundation 1. If you're in RAVE cartography, then you can get the audit price for the Foundation 2. Cool. All right. Let me just see here what I have. Does the self-study give a lot of info as well?
You want to take that one since it's your course?
It is a lot of information, yes. So the self-study for the emotional intelligence really gives you an in-depth work or an in-depth look at how emotional intelligence works. It's one of the things that we're moving towards, as Tuck was talking about, in this transitional time. So it really gives you much more in depth on how that particular function operates. So emotional intelligence and understanding how emotionality works. The other one, which is the Profit Potential Workshop, it is really rich. It is about drive and stamina and the pressure, and you will love it. So that's for both. Let's see. I think emotional intelligence is 3 classes. The Profit Potential is 4 classes. So there is a lot of information contained there. And again, if you do have any specific questions about the classes or the courses, you can send an email to Tuck if you're interested in any of the classes. You can also email Natalie as well. Again, office@bg5businessinstitute.com. Or if you want to email Tuck directly. So some of these questions you have as well, you may want to also check with Tuck. All right. Well, would you like to wrap everything up, Tuck?
Yeah, I'm going to say very quickly, a deep gratitude for you and all of the work that you have done and continue to do at the BG5 Institute. I'm going to say none of us would be who we are without you at the helm, without you doing all of the work that you do. Natalie, you as well, and your whole team, Karen. So thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm grateful that you have listened today to information that from my experience has completely changed my life, the way I live personally, but most importantly, the way that I work and make my contribution to the world. I am passionate about this information. I would love for you to join me so that you too can live a life of prosperity and ease doing what it is that you love to do, because that's what I experience these foundation and even certification courses gifting us with. So thank you for your listening, and I'd love to see you September 16th.